Awesome.
So Gagger,
So,
I really
yes.
wanted to ask you first, before we got to any of the, you know, let's say more streamlined part of the talk, I wanted to ask you what you think about aliens. Um, before anything, like before any of the news came out.
Before any of the news,
Yeah.
I I don't know, like I always believed in aliens. I think I saw a saucer when I was a kid. So since then I always believed in aliens.
Um, so when you saw the saucer, was it like a very uh, short experience, or did it happen over a long time?
It happened like it was like just a brief second. It looked like the thing is now as I'm older, it might have been. No, that's the thing. It wasn't a frisbee. It looked like a frisbee, right? It was a small one, like a super small one, imagine like it's a big imagine like a big dinner plate you get at a restaurant, right?
Mm.
Yeah, something like this. It wasn't like a big fuck off thing that just came off and beamed me up or something like that. It was small. It was like a dinner plate sized, but it did look like a UFO. Like the whole thing like two discs and it looks kind of oblong. It did look
Yes.
like that and completely white.
But did it do any of the things that UFOs are known to do? Like, did it change directions mid-air without like losing speed, that kind of thing?
It looked like it was like swirling, like it was. It came down outside the window because I saw it in the corner of my eye for like a second before looking away, and it did look like it came in for a turn. So it did do that thing, I guess technically, but I didn't see that part. I just saw that it came up to the window, towards the window, and started spinning away. And then I turned away to go to the bathroom, and then I was like, yeah, "What the fuck was that?" And then I go in to the living room, and then it was of course gone. But as I
Do,
said, it was small. It was very small.
do
This
you remember
UFO,
if what color it was?
white and silver.
Was it shiny or just opaque?
Uh, the the plate part, so to say, not the dome part, right? So the plate part of the thing was like white, and then the dome part was silver.
I see.
But as I
I
said,
mean,
it
it
could have
sounds
been a
very
frisbee, but
specific. It sounds very specific. Like
yeah,
it,
yeah, it had like these
it
what is
doesn't
it,
even
bolts?
sound like an UFO. It sounds like something else, to be honest. I mean, it sounds similar to
Yeah,
an UFO, but it doesn't like fit the very narrow like patterns of UFO stories.
no, no, like just to say, like it could have been a frisbee. I'm like open to that idea, I guess, but I don't think so because I couldn't find anything in the garden after, and like and it also was completely silent, right? But I mean,
Yes.
I'm open to it. I could also, have imagined it. I don't think I did, but I could have, and all that jazz. So ever since then, I believed in UFOs. But then, as you get older, you realize that no, I need some more constructive arguments and evidence than my own. My because it's biased, right? My
Yes. Yeah. When
my
you're a
gut
kid,
is very
you're
biased.
when you're a kid, you're more likely to believe as well because like you're learning all the time about stuff you don't know. So whenever you have a new experience, you just expect that this is uh, something else that you can just fit in with all the other experiences, and sometimes it's not. Sometimes it doesn't really make sense. Um,
Yeah. How about you then? What do you believe in UFOs and stuff?
yeah, so I actually believe in UFOs, but not really like aliens. Um, I take more the notion that well, first I don't think that they're UFOs, right? They're UAPs. Um,
Mm.
and the reason I use that terminology is because UFO is like a flying object, right? But I
Mm.
feel like there's a good chance that whatever they are is not an object, it's like psychological. So there's a chance
What's
that
UAP?
it's
Can you define it quickly?
yes, it's unidentified aerial phenomena. So it's
Okay,
not
cool.
necessarily flying and not necessarily an object. Um, so
Okay.
it might be something that's in your mind. It might be uh, like a light phenomenon. So it's not an
Can I
object.
just
It's
ask?
like it's
Can I
just
just ask a very clarifying question? A clarifying
sure.
question here, yes, Sansan.
Yes. Yes.
So,
Yes.
for example, the thing in the Bible that Ezekiel claims to see, the fucking throne and then wheels upon wheels in ice and fire and everything.
Yeah.
This would then be a UAP, then, yeah.
Yes. Absolutely.
Okay,
I
continue.
mean, not, I mean, if someone else saw it, then yes, maybe. But Ezekiel knew what he saw, right?
Yeah, yeah, but if he
He
told
didn't.
us the story, in
Yes.
this
Yes.
context.
Yes. It would fit into it. But and yes, this is part of the reason why I really need to, because you can't make it sense of all of the reports of alien activity uh, by using flying objects and flying saucers. Like it doesn't make sense. Like it's not a like the idea that there is like an alien country and an alien world sending alien spaceships to abduct people and then mess with their heads. That's it isn't just far fetched. It's like it's masturbatory to our own technology. Like we just project our own selves into this like the future, and then we think what could we do in the future, and then we try to use that to explain the things that we don't know. And so that's how we come up with like spaceships and uh, probing and alien countries. That's the that's us seeing ourselves in the future, and then projecting ourselves back to explain these phenomena that we do not have an explanation for. Um, and I'm not sure. Like I feel like it's very misleading to think that there are like aliens that are anything like humans. Let's put it that way. Like aliens that are, and I do mean anything like humans, even like green men. Green men are very much like humans. They might be ugly, but they're like humans. They're material for one. They're also essentially humans but smarter, which is, I feel like, whatever aliens are is not that. I feel like the real aliens are
So
more like
do
fairies than like green men or humans.
so you do believe in UAPs then? That like you believe that people believe that they have seen something?
Yes, I do think so. There's too
Okay,
many
cool.
reports. There's too many reports to say that there is nothing to it. It's possible that there is no underlying cause and it's separate, and then there's like an unconscious which is amalgamating different stories into one narrative, and then creating a pattern where there isn't really a directive. Like there isn't a source to all the stories. There are multiple sources, and it just gets confused. That's also a possibility, but I feel like
Okay.
there's also a good possibility that there's something to it.
Yeah, so I see what you mean. It's interesting because the point you brought up that it's like a you said mass laboratorium, and in a way, I don't really agree 100% with the characterization, but there's this very famous guy named Whitley Strieber, who's a famous writer, and or was a famous writer until he came out and said that he had been abducted by aliens since he was 3 years old or 6 years old or something. And he theorized that these aliens are they have evolved obviously somewhere else, right? But they evolved from wasps, and that's so similarly to how humans evolved from monkeys. These things evolved from wasps. That's why, and he sort of makes it fit, right, with the idea that they don't communicate with their mouths, they communicate in their mind, sort of like a beehive, and also their big eyes and sort of weird arms and legs. And this is also the basis for his story. It's such a good story, and it does lead to interest, and it's also simpler for me to explain this way. Because he did this story called the Wolfen, which is about these wolves that have sort of evolved similarly to apes, right, to become these humanoid wolves that are so they're supposed to be like werewolves.
It's tell me it's
And
not the first story first. Tell me it's not the first
no,
story first.
no, it's not a first story. It's from the 70s, before they were before the first invention of the furry. So it's fine. Uh, it's not a furry. It's a horror story. It's like really creepy, actually. The way like he explains, because the thing about these wolves is that they are as intelligent as humans, right? And no, as intelligent. So they are hunting this woman who saw them, because the thing is like they can't, like humans can't be allowed to figure out that they exist, because then they will hunt them to extinction.
Yes.
So the wolves see this. I'm just gonna be brief, but the point here being that the wolves want to kill this human, and it's really fucking spooky the way they do it. So I'm saying that there is a way, like an evolutionary theory on why they look like they do. But I do agree with the point that we shouldn't assume that they abide by the same rules as us.
Do you know the Fermi paradox?
Is it the one with the, what is it? The forest?
No, the Fermi
No,
paradox
no, no,
is
no, no, no,
the.
no.
Do you want me
Either
to
way
tell
are
you?
low. No, yeah, just tell me. Just tell me.
It's the one where, because of the number of stars and the number of potential planets which are habitable, the chances that human life exists only on Earth is essentially zero.
Mm.
So it's like a mathematical proof for the necessity of the existence of alien life, essentially.
Mm.
And
Continue.
it's a pretty good argument for why there should be alien life. But I mean, this is completely biased from my perspective. It's also really interesting, right? Because it opens up the question. Well, there should be alien life, but there isn't. So where's the mistake? Like, who fucked up the calculation? Because uh, we know the number of. I mean, we don't know. We have determined that there exists, hundreds of billions of stars, and I mean, there's hundreds of billions of galaxies, I think, and who knows how many stars and who knows how many planets, and so what does that make of human life exactly? How special are we on a universal scale? And if the answer is unique in a universal scale, that certainly makes human life, more important than even we take it for being. And it also, this is the part of that's personal to me. It's like, well, if we are to assume that evolution is what's driving over life, and that we have a good understanding of reality in nature and physics, and still we have no explanation for why there aren't any other intellectual, or I mean, there isn't life outside of Earth, and if there isn't intelligent life outside of Earth. Then we have to try to come up with other explanations, and one of the explanations, and this is the part that's personal, is, well, then is it possible that there is something different about us, about life in Earth, that we really were, created by God or something like that, that we are, because I told you about it, and I suppose we probably don't have time, and you probably don't want to get into a discussion about it, but I do think that I don't like intelligent alien life and human life, or intelligent alien life and God cannot coexist as beliefs in a person. If you believe in both, I think you're just you're either deluded, or you're misguided, or you're not realizing the extreme contradiction between the two. Um, yeah.
I mean, I see. like as I said, I've seen or I did whatever you want to say. I've been thinking about that, like about that too, because I mean, either humans. I think humans are unique, yes, but maybe not as unique as we believe we are. Because the thing with the whole God thing, right? That God creates us as unique, and therefore we are unique. So there's no place for other intelligent life somewhere out there. Yet here's the thing: there are many ways around to argue around that. I feel because sure, God says, "Look how unique humans are. They are the shepherds," but He never specifies. He says His creation. But then it's like, all right, but you also created heaven. Is that his creation too? Like, do you understand? This is what I meant before we started when I brought this up, right? That
Gagger,
you
Gagger,
see the
please,
big
Gagger.
part, right?
God
No,
created Adam and Eve, not Adam and ET. You have to know that.
fuck, you got, dude, you got me, you got me.
Yes, I
How
know.
could I not foresee? How could I not foresee this big hole in my argument? But anyway, but I do think there's a functionality here to all of this. And it's like this: if wouldn't it be possible that God created them too? Well, no, wait. There's two parts, and I'm gonna let you answer these two. So there's two parts to this question. One, is it obvious? It could be like obviously like yeah, God created also created the aliens, right? Number two, since most people believe that, or not most people, but people, we don't know what was before the Egyptians, right? We just have vague references that we came from the steppe of Indo-Eurasia, and then Africans, Asians, like they were all stuff like this, right?
I mean,
But
it's the
what's not
Babylonians, right? The Sumerians with is the
yeah,
oldest
but this
civilization.
yeah this is the second part, and I do have a tinfoil point that will prove my second, not prove, but here's the second part of that. Isn't it just possible that these aliens or whatever they are were just humans that fucked off long ago? Like then the flood happened or another catastrophe happened. And thirdly, to build on that, is a very creepy story that because there was this big post that went viral about this moon angel. Like there was a statue that looked like an angel that was found on the moon, like the moon, not the actual moon. And the thing about this post is that when I didn't believe it when I first saw it, and then when I looked it up a year later to see how it was debunked, I could not find it anywhere. I cannot find this post. I know I've seen it, but I can't find it. I can't find anyone debunking it. No one talking about it. It just popped up and then
So
was gone. Anyway,
this
gone.
post, yeah, I searched on Google and nothing came up. So this post that you talked about of the statue of an angel of the moon or on the moon, where did you
Yes.
see it and what was the audience to it?
May I repeat the last part? I heard that you said did I find it, and then
Yes, what's the audience to it? Like, did a lot of people see it?
yeah, yes, it was. This is. Do you remember an old site called 9gag?
I
Remember
mean,
that?
yes.
It's gone now. Like it's cringe now. If it still exists, it's fucking cringe now. But anyway, this was before it became giga cringe, and that's where I saw it first. Yeah,
Do you remember what was the reach of that post?
it was pretty big. Like it had like 20,000 upvotes, which was back then was like huge.
But I don't think that it's enough for it to necessarily have anything debunking it. Because I know of, very stupid uh, things that I've seen which are never debunked because people just assume that it's
Uh,
fake and
yeah,
move on,
that's.
right?
Hmm. Yeah, but you can usually find it and like people because something like that is bound to be reposted and be like, oh, look, we can prove God now or something like this. But
I mean, if you had,
nothing of that sort.
there were probably more context to the image and you don't have the keywords necessary to. I mean, Google is also garbage right now. It doesn't find anything that you want. it's really difficult to find anything that you want. If it's not the top result and you have the exact keywords to search for it, it doesn't help you. So
But yeah, anyway, respond to the first 2 points while I try to Google it myself, okay?
sure. So uh, please summarize the first 2 points again, just in sentences, so I remember.
First point, is it possible that God created these aliens? Two,
Okay.
wouldn't it be possible that the aliens are humans that went away before a catastrophic event happened and then they came back?
So the first one is, I don't think that reading the Bible you can come up with the conclusion that God made anything smarter than human beings. Because we're created in His image, right? And it's really difficult to see to what uh, attribute humans have over animals besides intelligence that is most like uh, God, that isn't intelligence. So you'd have to argue it's something else, and then we'd have to go somewhere else in the discussion. But if you don't want to argue, then I don't think that you can argue that God created aliens, unless you want to say that aliens are angels, in which case then we'd have a completely different discussion, I suppose, maybe.
Yeah.
And aliens are ex-humans. I mean, I don't know.
Yes.
It's difficult because clearly God has a plan for people, for humans, and clearly that the how do I put it, the like the bearers of that plan were the Israelites, the people of Israel. And we have very detailed history of the people of Israel. So it's really difficult to find a place in history where aliens could have disappeared and then reappeared, and then I'm not sure intermingled with humans to disappear again, and then but somehow there's still pure aliens left with space ships. It's like you're reaching to try to find a way to explain the possibility of the coexistence of the two, and it's really I mean, I don't know, like there are words for for example, mixes between humans and angels are Nephilim, I think. And
Yeah, that's another
there's
schizo
there's
schizo
also
talk.
gods uh, or half gods, which for the Bible is the same, because all of the gods of the nations are demons. And mm, there's the giants, which are the sons of gods with men, and they're also demons, by the way. Are not necessarily, but they're referred to as insultingly, let's say, in the Bible. And you can put that aliens on those, like any of those, but it'd be difficult to say that the 3-foot green man is actually the 15-foot barbarian that is trampling the villages with his mighty strength, um, unless you believe that Attack on Titan was historical, and then the green man bites his hand and becomes the giant of the Bible. But I feel like that's also stretching it. So yeah, it's not necessarily a case of impossibility. It's a case of it's so impossible or so unlikely that to entertain it you have to be exceedingly biased towards holding both opinions, uh, just so you can try to not deal with the incoherence of them. And like that's not a convincing, like you can't convince someone to believe in that at all. You can only see if they have the same biases as you, of wanting to believe in both, and then offering those as potential solutions to why they could both be true, even though uh, those solutions are incredibly unlikely.
Okay, so I did hear what you said, but I did have to zone out for like not half a minute, but 20 seconds or something like this, because I did find the article. I
And
posted it
what?
in Discord.
Oh, did you?
Yes. Uh,
WordPress.
yeah, here's the thing. I just found one of them, so I would have to look into it
I
way,
mean,
way, way more, and then like
this
actually read
sounds
about it.
this sounds fake. I mean, if the first image is anything, it sounds fake as fuck. Yeah, no, that is fake as fuck. There's zero chance. It's perfectly symmetrical.
200,000 years old, the person claims. I
Yeah,
need to be
why is
very,
there?
I need to be very, I need to be very, very, very important with, not important with my
Why
words, but
why
careful
is a
with my words here.
woman with gloves
No, but
and white
no, here's
just
the thing.
holding it behind a glass like that? That's extremely fake, dude. Like exceedingly fake.
Let me know when you're done coping, so I can actually say what I wanted to say about
I
it.
mean, are you sure
You're
that
not
you're
done
not?
coping? Go on.
Yes. Are you sure you're not feeling embarrassed about citing this image, which is obviously fake, and you didn't realize it back then? And now that
I,
you do,
okay,
you want me
okay,
to
we're doing.
gloss over it.
Let me know when you read my mind enough. How many fingers am I holding up?
I don't know, but I'm sure that one of them is probably in your
It's just
mouth and
one.
you're sucking on it because you're
No,
coping.
no, no,
But go
no, no.
ahead.
One. It's just one. It's just one. The one. So that one you probably got right, and it's one of my. It's not It's not index finger. It's the one after that one, just before the ring finger, like slightly
Are you
pointed towards the west. You
possibly
know.
feeling angry, Gaga? But go ahead, go ahead. I'm
Here's the
going to
thing.
Google more
No,
of this
okay.
image because I found it
This
very
is what I wanted
amusing.
to say, and what I
Yes.
did say before I started sawing out, that I need to do way, way, way more research on this, because I just found this. I don't know if this is the first post I found on the 9gag so long ago. I don't even know what the fuck this site
I
is.
found the original without a
And
Photoshop right
then,
now.
what do you say?
I found the original without a Photoshop right now. So I have proof that that's fake if you want.
So, and
Right
the
now.
next part is
I just sent
when
it
the
to you on
guy.
Discord.
And the next part is, I never ever said I'm using the photo as evidence. Did I ever say that?
So why did you link me the site with the photo?
Because it has the article in it. Like what the fuck?
So the photo is fake, but the article is real.
Dude, did I say that? Dude, did I say yes? This is 100% scientific fact. I just found a random article. That's not what I said,
Okay,
right?
but you have to allow me to make fun of you when you link me something like this.
You can. I mean, sure, but then I'm gonna butt back because your argument don't hold. Like it's like you, whatever. Point there being this, that I need to do way more research on this one, because I agree. Like I don't even fucking know what this is. Like I do know this image is what I saw, and then I did see like an article, like someone giving the context to it. But I need to see what is this, who are these people. But this is a good segue
You know
to
what's
talk
good
about
about
something
this article?
fictional.
Before you go, actually, we have so much to talk about. I can't actually make jokes, but real quick, the good thing about this article is that the original photo is actually a woman being congratulated for joining the Hall of Fame of as a
Nice.
scientist, and so this article with the Moon Angel actually takes away a lot of her credibility, and it makes sure that women know their place and don't try to become scientists because they're gonna be featuring articles about moon angels if they try. Go ahead.
Or they're gonna be, or they, some Brazilian asshole is gonna soy out about them. You know.
I mean, scientific females are very attractive. Okay, Gegger. Now go ahead. You had something else to say, and then I have to, because we have to get to the actual news at some point, right?
Yeah, no, because that's what I wanted to talk about. So
Oh, really?
that's the segue. But this we can talk about next time, because it is interesting though, because here's the thing about it. I also did say that I looked at it once, tried to find it to debunk it first. The thing that was weird to me was that I was fucking gone and I couldn't find it anywhere. I couldn't find this, like, how long ago was this? Like 10 years ago, over 10 years ago? I couldn't find this. Not even this that I showed you now. And I just found that so strange. But anyway, this is a good segue
Yeah.
to talk
So
about this
I
news thing that
I
we talked
should
that we heard about all over the news.
I feel like I
Yeah,
should
go
read
ahead.
the opening statement from the guy, which is what he said before he started answering questions in Congress, I think. Uh,
Yeah.
it's like 2 pages long, so it's a bit long, but I'll try to be quick about it. So, opening statement. Mr. Chairman, ranking members, and congressmen, thank you. I am happy to be here. Oh, I should just say. Oh, never mind. He announces himself. This is an important issue, and I am grateful for your time. My name is David Charles Grush. I am an intelligence officer for 14 years, both in the U.S. Air Force at the rank of major, and most recently from 2021 to 2023 at the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency at the GS 15 civilian level, which is the military equivalent of a full board colonel. I was my agency's co-lead in unidentified anomalous phenomena (UAP) and transmedium object analysis, as well as reporting to the UAP task force and eventually the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office. I became a whistleblower through a PPD-19 urgent concern filing with the Intelligence Community Inspector General following concerning reports from multiple esteemed and credentialed current and former military and intelligence community individuals that the U.S. government is operating with secrecy above congressional oversight with regards to UAPs. So basically saying that the U.S. is doing something with these UAPs without telling Congress, right? Um, my testimony is based on information I have been given by individuals with a long-standing track record of legitimacy and service to this country, many of whom also shared compelling evidence in the form of photography, official documentation, and classified oral testimony. I have taken every step I can to corroborate this evidence over a period of 4 years, and to do my due diligence on the individuals sharing it. And it is because of these steps that I believe strongly in the importance of bringing this information before you. I am driven by a commitment to truth and transparency, rooted in our inherent duty to uphold the United States Constitution and to protect the American people. I am asking Congress to hold our government to this standard and thoroughly investigate these claims. But as I stand here under oath now, I am speaking to the facts, and I have been told them. In the USAF, in my National Reconnaissance Office reservist capacity, I was a member of the UAPTF from 2019 to 2021. I served in the NRO Operations Center on the Director's Briefing Staff, which included the coordination of the Presidential Daily Brief and supporting contingency operations. Um, okay, so this is what's most important about this. At the time, due to my extensive executive level intelligence support duties, I was cleared to literally all relevant compartments and in a position of extreme trust in both my military and civilian capacities. I was informed, in the course of my official duties, of a multi-decade UAP crash retrieval and reverse engineering program to which I was denied access to those additional read-ons. And then the rest is, mostly formal stuff. So basically, what we have is this is a guy who's worked for the government for several years or decades, really, and he had access to a lot of confidential documents, and he learned that the US was first hiding stuff from Congress, and second, that the US was retrieving crash sites from unidentified aerial phenomena and reverse engineering the technology they find. And so this is, as close to, an official declaration of the existence of aliens as we've gotten so far in history, let's say. Now, I mean, I said a lot, so maybe you should comment on it first.
Yes. So there are multiple issues around this whole thing, and that is first that he says that I never understood if he had seen these things himself or if he just knew people who had seen them and they had told him in confidence and now he's telling everyone. But furthermore, the big issue I have with it, right, is that he, because on one hand, I could say that sure he's not giving up the good stuff, like he's not giving up like if people blah 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 blah, because then he says, oh yeah, I can only tell you behind closed doors. But then on the other hand, he has given us so much outside of closed doors that kind of negates the first argument and everyone else's argument that argues this. But the thing is like that he hasn't shown any evidence other than his testimony. But I mean, I do believe him, but my whole the thing is that because I don't because that's also a thing that I need to get that out first. But in order to answer your question better, what is the issue you take with his testimony, like the first part? Because you obviously brought it up for a reason. What is the opening state? What in the opening statement do you think is off or? That I don't understand.
I actually don't think that there is anything wrong here. I think there is actually a good explanation for everything. I do think that he's conflating two things, because I feel like because there is a reason why the U.S. has such a vested interest in identifying UFOs and UAPs, because what they are essentially are reports of a breach of the aerial force space of the US. Basically, there's something in the US air, and the Air Force has no idea what it is. And that's
Okay.
obviously a security problem, right?
Yes, but why
And
did you bring it up specifically? This I don't understand. Like I understand that you started reading his first, his intro to his whole testimony. But
yes,
what in it was it that you wanted to that you felt was
yes.
like?
I mean, the two big things are one that the US is moving behind, or the Air Force, I think it is. I'm not sure if it's the Air Force, but it's the executive branch is moving behind the congressional oversight.
Okay, okay.
So this is one
And the
thing, right?
second part,
And the
yeah,
second
the
part
second one is
is that there is a program to reverse engineer UAPs.
okay, and the third
And
one is.
is there a third one?
There wasn't the third one. Okay, now let me answer your question better. So, no, because I was like, okay, he's bringing this up for a specific reason. Then I felt bad because I was like, he read it for a specific reason. But now I know.
Yes.
So, very briefly, in under a minute, let me respond a little better.
I mean, the reason
So,
I read it like almost in full, besides bringing up those points, is to actually show that this is like an official document about a military individual with over a decade of service in the U.S. military, and he is speaking to Congress, and everyone has access to this. And this is not, a WordPress article. This is not, uh, you know, something that a conspiracy theorist is making. This is actually like a legal document, and it's as reliable as basically anything we can make. So I was just
yeah,
trying
no,
to
I
bring.
understand.
I was trying to
Mhm.
make sure that anyone who listened to this was aware of the significance of what I'm reading, essentially.
Okay, got you. I agree, but the thing is that like obviously that yeah sure we can say that okay they have this invested interest in bringing back behind the exit. Do I believe that America has is moving behind closed doors and do weird things? Sure, but when it comes to aliens, like the thing is there's so much at stake, like and it's such a big thing to unpack because the thing is first of all like you only most of the time you hear about these alien things across the U.S., right? That's where all most of the sightings are, but not like. I think in. Okay, I just realized I just started this whole thing with saying that I saw a UFO, and I have friends that seen UFOs.
And
But
also saying that you believe in aliens.
yes, sure. But I'm also trying to do a more
I
practical
believe
approach to
in
it.
aliens, but I
However,
don't believe in anyone else who says that aliens are real. They are lying. Only
exactly.
I know.
Yes, exactly. Yes, only I am right, Giga Shad. Number two is that this reverse engineering, that I do
Mm.
believe. I do believe. So I'm like half in on all of this, sort of, because the thing is Bob Lazar, right? Did you see that? I don't know if you've seen the podcast he did with Joe Rogan,
Nope.
but Bob Lazar was this guy who
I may.
worked at.
Is that the guy who has headaches in the middle of the fucking podcast?
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah,
so
and
I
he
have
worked
seen
at
it.
Area 50. Yeah, so he worked at Area 51,
Yeah,
and the
yeah,
way he explained it is what I honestly, at the end of the day, believe, like my true beliefs about the aliens. Very briefly, also what Elon Musk has said, right? They're drones that's been sent out from a dead civilization that is long dead. It's just their version of an AI stuck in a loop. That's what I believe.
yeah. I see. Because
I
I,
know.
I know I'm reading this and I'm stressing the significance of it, but I also I feel like it's bullshit. That's my true opinion of it. I feel like what he's doing is conflating two things, right? Like I was going to say before. Because the reverse engineering can can exist, and of course does exist. Like, do you remember when the U.S. shut down like the Chinese satellite balloon or
Yes.
the spy balloon or whatever?
And
Uh,
China had the fucking audacity to fucking complain about it. That was such like,
yes,
oh, and a hard scientific project. How
they
dare
were
you?
like
Like,
they were like
it's so
give it
cancelled.
back, it's ours, give it back. It's like come on,
This
man.
is how Fallout fucking started, by the way. Anyway, continue.
Yes, that kind of operation is not as noteworthy as they made it sound because this is not exactly uncommon. The problem was that they easily identified the fact that it was Chinese in origin. Normally, it would not be identified because if I were to send a spy aerial vehicle to another country, I wouldn't put my flag on it. So, in case it was caught, they wouldn't be able to learn where it came from and retaliate if they were inclined to do so. Um, so it's not that uncommon for aerial vehicles, be planes or balloons or satellites or whatever, to make their way to other countries, and
But
this is
the reason why they would send that, why they would shoot down your balloon is because they would assume it was a drug mule, you know?
shut the fuck up, Jagger. Um, so the reason that uh, it's not really uncommon for the US to have a reverse engineering program for UAPs is because they would obviously want to see what the Russians and the Chinese are doing with their technology and try to learn what they're doing and see if there's anything that they can learn. And so, obviously, they would have a program to learn from the the spy vehicles that are sent over the border. Uh, that's what it's for. Uh, you don't need to have an actual alien vehicle to to justify it. Just a minute.
What I was gonna also say is, I think he stepped out for a second there. I don't know if anyone can hear us because I don't know if he's recording my end too. But they lied about, or they didn't lie about it per se, but it's just a shame.
Okay.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I just had to fucking answer the door. Um, you're
Hmm.
gonna have to repeat what you said last.
Yeah, no, it's good that like not good that you have to maybe open the door, but I there's a final important point where we can take this
Okay.
discussion, which is interesting because I did hear what you said about the, that they're trying to, that they're aware of the intelligence, not aware of intelligence, but the point that I wanted to also understand, because I need to ask you this.
Hmm.
You said that they are reverse engineering things, right?
Yes.
But I did not understand your point because you made a point that, oh, they obviously knew exactly why it was Chinese. But
No.
I did not.
I mean, yes, of course. I don't know. I feel like I didn't look that far into the article, but there was a reason that they could tell it was Chinese and it was obvious. It's probably maybe they reverse engineered it and realized that the software was in Chinese. Something obvious like that. Uh, Maybe there was a fucking Chinese flag. Maybe it was written, made in China. Whatever. Um,
No,
I
dude,
don't.
they just asked it. What is your opinion on mainland China and Western China? And then the fucking balloon just exploded
Oh,
because it couldn't.
yeah, he couldn't give the right answer, which is that Western China is the worst China, or whatever.
No, it's the other way around. But anyway, this
Sorry.
is
Wait,
because
where's Taiwan? Actually, isn't Taiwan like South China? Let me see. Where's
okay,
Taiwan in
now when you
China?
say it, I might be one wrong, but I usually call it mainland China. That's usually what I call it. But
Yeah, Taiwan
so
is to
maybe you're
the
right.
Taiwan is to the east of China.
Eh, okay, cool. I was wrong. See what I did there? I can accept when I'm wrong. Can you
Really?
accept when you're wrong, Neo?
Uh, when is that?
Anyway, this is a because this is an important functional part of this, like or another functional part of this combo because I saw these people like going like, oh, I don't believe this. The fucking government is saying this. The psyop and all this online, and it's such a shame what they did like during the unspecified time 2 years ago that I can't mention on YouTube. But we know a certain event that had us all stuck inside our homes and stuff. Don't
Oh,
say it out loud.
yes, I
Yes,
won't.
that part.
Yeah.
Yeah, they lied so much about that. Then they lied. American media, especially, was really fucking heinous on this. Like, I'm not saying that Swedish media is like some gold standard, but like, I mean, if we compare Swedish media with American media, it's like, point there being that they lied so much that now no one believes them anymore. So
Maybe the
now,
Swedish are just better at
that's so
covering it up.
sad. No, but also in Sweden, what we did, we didn't have lockdowns at all.
Yes, it's
So
true. That was so based of you, actually. Like,
thank
uncharacteristically
you.
based of Sweden.
The rare Swedish W, if I may say so myself.
Yes.
But here's the thing, though. What I'm getting at here is that it's such a shame that they had to be so weird about the whole thing about that. And then there was a bunch of things about the American, the presidential election fraud, blah, 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 Hunter Biden, blah, blah, blah. And it's just, so of course no one's gonna believe them. That's the biggest thing that made me actually really sad. That people are like, they're not even listening to this guy. They're like, oh, whatever. So even if this guy that has been revealing everything is found unalived, you know how it goes. Like he will be he will be found dead by suicide, and this suicide will be that he hacked himself to death with 20
Yes.
million stab wounds, and then like
Yes.
a shot in the back of the neck, obviously, because everyone knows this is the most effective way of killing himself.
Yes, he'll be
Uh,
Kevin Spacey.
yeah, Kevin Spacey, yes. No,
Yes.
but no, Kevin Spacey is still alive. So,
Yes, but
so
all the witnesses to the his child abuse were
that's
killed.
yeah, oh shit, I forgot. Yes, I know. That is so weird.
Yes,
That
it
thing
is.
is so
I
weird,
mean, it's not
right? I've
weird. Like,
seen.
he's clearly a fucking murderer. Like, he's clearly the one
Yes,
behind it. There's no way he
like
isn't.
everyone knows it. Like that's the thing, and he just laughs. Like And like the way he looks into the fucking camera too, like he's like looking into
Yes,
it, going like,
yes,
"I got away with it, you asshole. What are you gonna do?" It's like,
yes,
fucking No,
yes.
I will say I need to. There is okay. No, no. I was thinking another thing. However, the Clinton body count list has been debunked, sort of debunked, or it's much more contested than this kill list. That is just, what the fuck.
Yes.
Like,
Okay,
so I
so
mean,
so Gagger, sorry, I'm gonna bring us back to the subject because otherwise we can't fucking end, right? I want to give you
yeah,
my Giga Shed conspiracy take on what this is all about, okay? Because I just told
cool.
you it's not really about aliens, right? It's about world politics, right? So what's
Mm,
happening here is that a coalition of Russia and China are working together with spies from the KGB inside the US government, and they are using this opportunity and this focus on alien life as an avenue to exploit US secret technology. And what they're going to do is they're going to use this congressional hearing from David Grosh to make public the reverse engineering program from the US, which is going to allow other countries to catch up to the US military technology. So, this is what it
mm.
is all about.
Okay, and so this guy in front of Congress is a spy.
What do you think a spy is? No, I mean, yes, obviously, but what do you think a spy is
Oh, wait. An agent would be
yes,
a better term at this time, like a secret agent. That's
actually,
just
yes,
okay.
yes, you're right. Yes, you're right. He's a double agent.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair, it would be a clever thing to do, right? The issue though is that it would also be very retarded of China and Russia to do. But I mean, I
I
see
also
your
I also
tinfoil.
think so. I also think so because it does make sense, right? If the unless there's actual alien technology, then it would make sense. But if it's not alien, then it's just Russian and Chinese planes already, so they're not gonna learn anything new.
Like they double agented themselves so hard that like they just came back full retard essentially.
I mean, there's another possible explanation. It's just like weaken the executive branch of the U.S. Try to make the Congress, because if it's proven that the U.S. is like the executive branch is hiding something from the Congress, it's possible that Congress becomes more uh, like starts fiscalizing the actions of the executive branch further, and that might weaken the power of the military as a result. Uh, because the military won't be able to move as well as it would if it didn't have the oversight of the Congress.
Mm. Okay, yes. I'm gonna repeat back your argument and you say what I got wrong with it.
Okay.
That yes, I feel that I understand what you said. So the fear of the executive branch is that if this comes out, then the executive branch can't do things in the shadows anymore. Was that your argument, or did I misunderstand it completely? Because it feels like I misunderstood it completely.
It's not wrong, but it isn't just in the shadows. It's more like without waiting for permission.
Oh, okay, I see. Now I actually have the. This is my tinfoil, but it's a much more boring tinfoil. But I think it's a good place to end with my tinfoil. You gave your tinfoil. Now I will give
Mm-hmm.
you my tinfoil. I
Okay.
believe it's this easy. I first of all, the Men in Black. I do believe they're real. Like not the fucking supernatural Men in Black, like government agents going around harassing people. Like I have so many good stories about these weird government agents, not the Men in Black per se, but bureaucrats. So everyone listening, I'm not talking about fucking Will Smith showing up or something. I'm talking about like just bully bureaucrats. That's all I'm talking about, okay? So these people I know exist. Like I've seen them myself, but they're again no UFOs. They're just greedy assholes. Which brings me back to my point, right? I just believe that all of this is sort of also tied into what you're saying, right? Is that these things, the aliens, as I said, they're dead drones from a dead civilization. They were found here in America or something, and America want to keep all this technology to itself to make money, and everyone else wants in on the big money, and that's it. That's what I think. It's a very boring explanation, but I think it's all about money in the end of it.
You're very capitalistic,
Yes,
which is not
more
necessarily a good
technology.
thing. Okay, but so please repeat the explanation from beginning to end, but just shorten it so I understand it properly, because I feel like I don't understand like how it translates into
Okay.
money in the end. Like who's making money here and from what?
No, that's the thing. They want to make, like, they have this alien technology, right?
Who
That's
does?
from a dead civilization.
The
No,
U.S.
no, yeah, yes, the U.S. deep state, whatever you want to call it, the
Okay,
Men in
okay.
Black organizations.
Yes.
They have all this technology, and they know, okay, if we can back engineer this thing, and then give it to the army or other people or like, entertainment companies, we can make a lot of money, but we need to figure out how it works, and then they can just go to the covert agency and say, hey, we have all this technology, we just need some funding to figure out how it works, because they all just want money. So to sell, they just want to make product that you can then consume, and then we can all live with Klaus Schwab in heaven.
But did you know, Gagger? And I suppose that's a criticism, but did you know that the US can actually just print more money if they want?
Ah, shit, I forgot.
Yeah, so they don't
Dude,
have to reverse engineer anything. They can
they
just
just
make
print more
money.
money.
Yes.
Dude, why aren't you fucking an economist in the US?
Yeah, you know? Uh,
Dude,
who'd have thought of that?
yes,
It
dude,
worked
just
for Zimbabwe, right?
exactly. Just go there, say, bro, you poor, print more money. Dude, you're depressed. Stop being sad. It's fine. You're anxious.
This
Stop being anxious. You'll be alright, bro. You'll be alright. You're fat. Let's start exercising. Oh wait, that one actually is unironically good advice. Actually, I just realized that.
It is unironically bad advice. Exercising doesn't work. You have to stop eating. That's the only way.
That's the thing. It's golden. Actually, something that I do. I mean, exercising. I know that you see my trolling, but you're also telling some truth because it is usually the diet that
Yes.
is the reason why people are fat.
Yes.
But exercising does help a lot too, and you should do it.
Yes, that's true. It helps your health more than helps you lose weight, I think. Uh,
Mm.
it helps you be able to move better, and it makes your life more enjoyable, essentially, because when you're fat, you're actually heavier than you should be. And that might sound
Mm.
obvious, but you don't realize how it feels not to be heavy if you've always been fat. And the only way to explain is that it feels way better when you're not heavy. It feels like you're light, and it's a good thing to be
Mm.
light. So uh,
Yes, sure.
I do recommend exercise, but if you're trying to lose weight, you have to diet it as well. It doesn't like just exercise. It's not gonna work for 99.9% of people.
Hmm. No, that's true. But yeah, next time we will talk about this angel statue found on the moon.
Okay, I'm not sure there's that much to talk about, but okay.
Hmm. But anyway, see you later. It was nice talking to you, and take care.
Yeah, see you, Gregor.